Meet Martin Luther King Jr. by Johnny Ray Moore, illustrated by Amy Wummer. "Go on home, Martin," said the woman at the door. "My boys can't play with you anymore." 5-year-old Martin Luther King Jr. turned away from the house and raced down the street. When Martin got to his own house, his mother said, "Son, tell me what happened." Martin told his mother about the white woman who wouldn't let her 2 boys play with him anymore. "I thought we were friends," Martin said. Martin's mother explained that states in the southern part of the country had Jim Crow laws that said black people and white people must stay apart. Black children could not go to school with white children. Black people could not eat in restaurants with white people. Blacks could not drink from the same water fountain as whites. "That's not fair," said Martin. "That's the way it is," said his mother. Martin never forgot those 2 white boys and their mother. He would find a way for all people to live and play together. Martin was born in Atlanta, Georgia on January 15, 1929. He was named for his father, Martin Luther King Sr., who was a minister of the Ebenezer Baptist Church. Every Sunday morning, Martin, his older sister, Christine, and his younger brother Alfred went to church and listened to their father preach. Martin liked his father's sermons, and he saw that many people respected his father. Martin wondered if he would be a preacher just like his dad. Martin loved to read. His mother, Alberta, had been a school teacher. Perhaps she helped him find books about great black people. Stories about former slave Frederick Douglass, who escaped to freedom and then helped other slaves, showed Martin how a person can change the lives of others. Stories about Booker T. Washington, who founded the first college for blacks, showed him how important education can be. And stories about George Washington Carver, who developed many uses for the peanut, showed Martin that imagination can change the world. Martin never forgot these stories. He too had courage and imagination, and he wanted the best education he could get. Martin made good grades in school and skipped the 9th and 12th grades. His scores on the college exams were so good that he didn't have to finish high school. Martin was only 15 years old when he entered Morehouse College in Atlanta. After graduation, Martin went to Chester, Pennsylvania, and enrolled in Crozer Theological Seminary. He had decided to become a preacher like his father. Then, Martin heard about a man in India named Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi led his followers in peaceful marches against the Indian government. Gandhi made a better life for his people. Martin still had not forgotten the white woman who would not let her sons play with him. He wondered if his world would be changed through peaceful marches like Gandhi's. Martin began to imagine a world where blacks and whites lived together in peace and love. When Martin graduated from Crozer, he won an award of money to continue his education. He went to Boston University. In Boston, Martin met and fell in love with Coretta Scott, who was studying music. Martin and Coretta were married in 1953. They had 4 children, Yolanda, Denise, Dexter Scott, Bernie Albertine, and Martin Luther King III. Martin finished his studies at Boston University. Now he was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and he began to look for a job where he could help his people. In 1954, the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama, called Martin to be their pastor. He accepted, and he and Coretta moved to Alabama. Alabama had Jim Crow laws just like Atlanta. Black children did not go to school with white children. Blacks rode in the back of the buses. One day, in December 1955, a woman named Rosa Parks boarded the buses and sat down. The bus driver told her to give up her seat to a white man who was left standing. When Rosa said no, the police arrested her. Martin told all blacks in Montgomery, "Do not ride the buses to work. Walk or take a taxi." For the next year, the buses in Montgomery were empty. The white people of Montgomery were angry. Blacks were angry too. Some gathered on Martin's lawn. They were ready to fight for their rights, but Martin said, "No fighting." He told them it takes more courage to protest peacefully. Then the United States Supreme Court said that no city could make black people sit in the back of the buses, and no bus driver could order black people to give up their seats. Martin and Rosa and the black people of Montgomery could sit on the bus anywhere they wanted. But blacks could still not go to school with whites, and they could not vote. Martin knew that these laws must also be changed. Martin asked people to come to Washington, D.C., and show the world that blacks should be allowed to vote. On August 28, 1963, more than 250,000 people listened as Martin spoke to them. He said, "I have a dream that someday my 4 little children will not be judged by the color of their skin." Back in Alabama, Martin wanted to help blacks register to vote. He called for a march from the town of Selma to Montgomery, the capital of Alabama, 54 miles away. On the morning of March 21, 1965, 3,000 people started marching. They walked all day. At night, they slept on the ground. After 5 days, Martin led the marchers into Montgomery, and by the end of summer, 9,000 people had registered to vote. Martin knew there were more people to help. In April 1968, he went to Memphis, Tennessee, to lead garbage collectors in a march for better pay. But while he stood on the balcony of his motel, James Earl Ray shot Martin. After Martin's death, the Congress of the United States made Martin's birthday, January 15th, a national holiday. Martin loved helping people. He showed the world that it took courage to stand up for equality and for freedom. But mostly, Martin taught us all how to love each other and how to live in peace.